Okay, so the last thing that I did rather than seek feedback, and this is really funny because it is very different to seeking feedback, was that I chose someone very carefully. I told someone that I was writing my book draft. And this was someone, with Love and Other U-Turns, it was someone who had written a PhD successfully. Like, she's actually the only person I know who submitted her PhD on time and didn't ask for an extension. And I used to text her my word count because I knew that she got it. You have to be careful who you tell though. And so this is why I have that little questionnaire piece at the beginning and throughout. I have lots of emails that I send you throughout 90 Day Memoir just to keep you accountable, not because anything is going to happen to you or to me if you don't meet that word count, but it just makes it feel so much more real and like you really do have that job. Like I said, you need to treat it like a job while you are working on your memoir, and get all sorts of bonus encouragement and surprises along the way. Encouragement is such an important thing, and my friend who'd done her PhD, she used to ask me if I hadn't reported my word count. She used to say, I haven't heard a word count for a while. With A Letter from Paris, what did I do? Oh yeah, of course, I told my sister. And yeah, but I was very, very careful with who I told what I was working on, because it doesn't look, and this is another thing that I talk about a lot in the intro modules to 90 Day Memoir, is memoir is very, 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 very misunderstood. So you have to be quite careful who you share the stuff with. If you're living with someone, for example, and I think I say this in prep school, and they see you working on your memoir and perhaps you're crying a lot, it is quite grueling work, particularly when you're writing about something sad or traumatic, because it's real life, and of course it's not all sunshine and roses. They might wonder why you're doing it. They might tell you to stop. They might start worrying because they're just seeing you sad, and they're seeing you saying no to events and occasions because you're locked up in your little writing room and you're doing writing and coming out feeling all confused and maybe a bit sad. So it's really important to have discretion with who you tell, and tell someone who understands. And this is a huge part of finding literary community and speaking only to people who are actually writers and have worked in that genre. I say that a lot. So that's the last piece of it. That was the fourth thing. So learning to trust yourself is one of probably the most important reason I don't have feedback in 90 Day Memoir. Treating it like a job and giving you all those tools and techniques to really approach this as a professional writer / author would. Only speaking to people who have excelled at this particular genre or this particular thing that you are trying to do. And studying the masters, studying those people who have done a really great job at it. And having these structural pieces. So I didn't have 90 Day Memoir. It is basically born of what I looked for when I was working on A Letter from Paris, and I had a really tight deadline, and I knew that structure was the toughest part. Structure and all the characters that I would need to include. And so I studied archetypes, and I studied story structure and Jungian and story structure and myth and archetypes. And the hero's journey particularly. And this is what helped me to write it a lot quicker than I would have. And so this is why I include so much structural story prompts and archetypes, and every stage of the hero's journey is covered in 90 Day Memoir. And the 3-act story structure, of course. So these are the 4 things that I recommend you do if you're working on a first or second draft or even a third draft of your memoir, of even a novel. I mean, I just don't think that getting feedback before the story knows what it is. Stories change as we write them. And that's part of the process. That's the creative process. This is why I didn't get feedback, and I don't believe in the feedback model. I've tried it. It doesn't work.